It's a live stream. It's a live show. It's a live show. What's going on, everybody? Chase on Two Wheels here for episode 17 of Live on Two Wheels. I'm Chase on Two Wheels. And this is Bo.
Oh, hey. Sorry, I got sidetracked because there's some random bot in our Discord server.
You need to tell that bot to get out.
Get out!
Speaking of which, guys, welcome to your weekly motorcycle live show. So that's also a podcast, funny enough. If you guys didn't know, you can listen to this and not have to look at my face, which I would not blame you if you did. Guys, if you want to listen to us,
also you're going to see that beautiful mullet.
Oh, yeah. Mullet update. We are still, you guys can see, we're still rocking the mullet here. We'll go full no hat. All the hair's long, by the way. We're not just doing mullet, but check out the mullet update. That's it.
Nice.
Obviously, that's only for you guys here on the live show or watching us live on, or watching us on YouTube. But if you guys just want to listen to us, feel free. We are available on Spotify and Apple Podcast and Google Podcast, which are your favorite motorcycle podcasts platforms. Yes. So, guys, in today's episode, before we get to all the housekeeping, we are going to talk about Kawasaki's ZX10R. It's ZX10R KRT.
Specifically,
KRT.
We are going to be discussing in great detail the RR.
Yeah, the RR.
That's what spawned all this.
That is what spawned all this, and I'm not going to lie, you guys probably already knew, as we do on Thursdays, title's a little clickbaity, but I just want you guys to come have a conversation with us. But that being said, I got some problems with the RR.
Yep.
I have done a wee bit of research, and I'm not happy about it. Anyway, so what else is new?
Daniel said happy birthday to his buddy Oreo.
Oh, happy birthday to Oreo. Oreo's birthday was a couple days ago. Or was it yesterday?
I think it was yesterday.
It was yesterday. Happy delayed birthday to my
delayed
Oreo.
Happy delayed birthday.
So, guys, before we get to the housekeeping stuff, I want to remind you guys, the Chase on Two Wheels company is really going to be pushing Discord soon. And we have already created a Live on Two Wheels channel.
Right.
So we have a home for all of you guys. And if you're listening to us, you know, everybody's welcome. It doesn't cost anything. It is literally a place for us to have conversations about Live on Two Wheels, you know, articles that come up. If you guys want to keep talking, we got a lot of you guys in the chat right now.
Memes, you can do whatever.
Yes. So we are going to be grabbing stuff from that Discord page, and that's who we're going to be giving our $50 Revzilla gift card to. If you guys don't know, at the end of our show, we always give away a $50 Revzilla gift card to somebody that posts something funny or cool or interesting. Memes are our favorite thing, so we highly recommend those if you want to get a cheat sheet to winning $50. We're going to do that at the end of the show.
Yep. So
there is that, and I think that's all the announcements, right? Discord's a huge thing.
So Discord's going to a lot of you guys that are already on our Discord already know, because you've been kind of watching it happen live.
Heather said, I've never been on any Discord. In my mind, it's like the dark web.
Yeah, sometimes.
not in ours. Right.
So we are revamping. We've had the Discord. When I first came on, we kind of went like full bore with it and did our beta or alpha 1.0, basically.
That's a good way of describing it, yeah.
I'd say now it's in our beta.
And in the next couple months, it's going to become full on.
Yeah. So we are constantly making these changes. So if you see me on there, it's Yankee, and you have like any questions or anything like that, just shoot me a message.
Yeah, so it's going to be get in now before we'd really start pushing. That's the thing we want to get to.
Also, Moto Marvelous. This is not a new hat. This is an old hat.
Oh, I have a hat update.
Oh shit!
So screw the ZX10. We got a hat update.
That's it. We tricked you.
That should have been the title. So for you guys that didn't watch last week, somebody gave us crap. I think it was Moto Marvelous. He gave us crap that we have me and Bo both have these Ruroc hats. Bo's not wearing his today, but both of our Ruroc hats are getting
really bad.
God, they're getting brown.
Yeah.
It's because we wear them.
Literally brown.
We wear them every single day. I can confirm. Official update: Ruroc has sent us a care package. It's on the way. We may be having black hats again soon. Oh, also, if you guys are watching this live, hit that like button. I want to see if we can get as many likes as possible before the show ends. So if you just started watching, if you're coming in now, hit the like button as fast as possible. Thank you much. We love you all. Also, reviews over on Apple Podcast are our favorite thing. We need to come up with a thing that we can give people that do reviews on Apple Podcast. I don't know what that could be, but I would love to figure something out. Maybe we could do like decals or something. Live on Two Wheels decals, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
I think the logo is pretty cool.
Nobody wears patches anymore.
No,
and I love
but
patches.
Decals though.
I love patches.
Patches are Houlihan. I'm sorry about that. Okay,
which one is it?
Oh God,
yeah,
that works.
Could have been a fart or could have been a rim shot.
You don't know. You don't know what your soundboard is. That's the most dangerous thing ever. Okay, so housekeeping this week. The really cool stuff. I know you weren't there, but when we went and filmed our final 4th day filming this Wreck Bike Rebuild episode that we're working on, bro. I haven't even told you this. So, guys, I don't get to talk to Bo on Thursdays because, I don't. Who, Brian?
Yeah.
That son of a bitch. He sent you.
He was so proud.
Bro, he was in there. It's so funny to see Brian get excited about stuff because that very rarely happens. But, seeing him get so excited about the Wreck Bike Rebuild stuff. So, today, I'll just give you guys a little. The video's not even out on Patreon yet. Patreon gets stuff a week ahead of time. So, today, the painter laid down the first coat of paint on all of the fairing pieces for the CBR 1000 we're building, and we've got a custom tail. It's literally shaped foam custom for us. I cannot express how excited I am. The tail piece came out exactly like I wanted it to, and I could not be happier with the way it looks. You guys, oh my goodness.
Yep.
So Patreon, I think when Bo gets done with that video, he's editing it. It's going to go up and go live on Patreon on Friday. YouTube, it might come out on Tuesday or something like that. So those guys will see it a little early, but it looks, it's so cool when something comes full circle. It looks even better than you expected it. Anyway, we got done filming that today. We're getting stacked up on first rides. We've been really slammed doing first ride videos. Got an MT-07 first ride coming out tomorrow for you guys.
How can you say that? The first ride is the only thing that we're slammed with.
Well, we're slammed with a lot of stuff. We've got a lot of plans coming up too. A lot of our roads are converging. Yeah. But we're a week ahead on first rides now, which I'm super excited about. And after tomorrow, we're going to be 2 weeks ahead of time, which is tomorrow I'm going to be riding a V4R, which from what I hear is disgusting. So I'm really amped for that. Yeah. Supposedly, check this out. You would think a Panigale V4S and a V4R, they'd be slightly different, right? Maybe some winglets or something.
Right.
Would that be?
I mean, yeah.
So the V4R, totally different. Different engine, dry clutch, literally everything different.
Cool, because that's what you want to do with your model line.
I was literally talking to Brian about that on the way back, and we were having that conversation of because I came into it the same thing. I was like, oh, it's slightly different. Brian's like, no, it's an entirely different motorcycle. And I'm like, oh. And then they went and cranked it up the other day, and I'm like, oh, goodness. Okay, so it's totally different. So, yeah, really, really cool stuff happening around here. Bo, what's going on your end, Mr. Edit Bay?
That's my life right now. Is just you guys go off and you film stuff. Here's the thing. there's part of me that misses going on first rides,
Mm-hmm.
but like I get so much done when you guys are not here.
When the whole team is out filming, it's just like you just take your pants
quiet,
off and just do
pants
it.
come off, and I'm in edit zone, bud.
If you guys don't know, the shop joke is that because typically it's Bo stays here, me, Brian, and Luke go out and film something. And the current joke is every time we're on the way back, we're always like, I wonder if Bo takes his pants off and edits when nobody's
100%.
We haven't caught him yet, but supposedly it happens. It's the lore of the shop. That and the garbage truck, man. Okay, so
I mean, other than that, my life is back end of like Discord and stuff. Because once we go live with the website, pretty much that's when we can more or less be done with setting up Discord, and it'll be ready to go.
Have we talked about that?
And we got some real fun stuff.
Have
coming.
we talked about the website yet?
Have we mentioned it in passing?
Oh, okay. So
like
guys,
that we're moving over.
Yeah, we're moving off of Patreon. We're going to be putting we're in the final steps of putting our own website together, and guys, we are going to be able to do such cool stuff.
Yeah.
I am the definition of hyped to be able to put this out. Patreon is just a leech, and oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have much more control over what we can do and how we can do it and who can manage and all this other stuff.
Right. It's going to be awesome.
And it's going to tie in directly to Discord because
It'll be tying to everything.
yeah. And so Discord is somebody asked in there and it was like, "Oh, hey, what's this about cost for Discord?" So like to clarify, and I had sent a message, it's like nothing's really going to change. Discord's free. It's free for everybody.
Yes, absolutely.
We have a section that is behind a block for people who do support through Patreon right now, currently, as the server is.
And the only thing that's going to be blocked is the communication of Wreck Bike Rebuild stuff.
Right. That's all it is. That's a channel that's like basically an extension of the Patreon page in a way, because that's where people can talk about the projects without giving it away to the rest of the group.
Right.
So that's not changing. It's just where that's coming from is changing. It's going to be coming from the site, and it's going to be condensed and a lot more open and all this other stuff. So there's a lot of really cool stuff happening with
I think a lot of stuff's going to make sense. And I think that's all we really have as far as like it's been, work, knock
all right,
videos
let's
out.
shit on this Cowie.
Oh, man. Kawasaki. Let's get into yep. Bo, go ahead and cue that one up and get ready for it. Mm-hmm. So, guys, basically, to catch everybody up, Kawasaki for the 2021 year model updated their ZX10, which is their flagship super sport, as many of you guys probably know.
Isn't it classified as a Superbike?
Yeah, I think that's what they title it. I can double check that on their website because I have it pulled up and ready to go.
Yeah.
Or actually, no, they break it down even higher than that. They just have Ninja.
Okay,
they just have their street/track. All of those are Ninjas. And then inside of that, they have Sport, Super Sport, and Hyper Sport. Super Sport are ZX6R, ZX10R, ZX14R. Their Hyper Sports are all their H2 stuff.
So before we go into it, because I want to kind of like point this conversation in the appropriate spot.
Okay.
Okay. I like the ZX10R, and the new one looks great.
You like the brand new one?
The brand new one.
Okay.
The base model ZX10R. I like it.
Right. Let's go to my screen real quick. Let's show a photo. So, guys, so we're on the same page.
It looks like a Kawasaki,
right?
But it looks like a Kawasaki where they kept the design language and just updated it. Like,
so we got the base model
the profile.
here.
Do you have a picture of the profile?
I do.
Yeah, it's right there.
Right here.
That right there, that looks like a Cowie. When you go to that picture that is down at the bottom with all the bike models together.
Yeah.
All right. When you look at it, it fits right in with their visual style, their design language. So I like it.
So this is something I want to talk about maybe later on, but I honestly feel like, because we kind of make a big deal about looks here on the show, so which I feel like is pretty important because looks are really important for everybody.
It's one of the most important things. It's also one of the most subjective things. So it's like that's the very defining factor of a motorcycle is finding something that one meets the, like I said, the design language of the company,
Right.
Because that's important, and then two, can reach a broad agreement in whether or not it looks good.
Right. So we'll get like this. This is a good photo for us to reference later on with the different models. I have some opinions on, and it's kind of led based on the way Kawasaki themselves kind of dropped down their Ninja line, because these are all Ninja bikes, guys. Ninja 400 all the way through their H2R. They're all Ninja. So we'll start talking about design aesthetics, because I think they're a little off.
What do you mean?
We'll talk about it later. I don't want to even get to it yet. So,
but the reason I wanted to say that about the ZX10 and its base model is that I like it. That's not my issue with this whole thing at all.
Okay, so looks is not even in it for you.
No, 100%. I like the way that looks. I don't generally like the Kawasaki's.
Right. So here's the thing, guys. When we decided, or one of the reasons we decided to even look into this is because I was up at Mountain the other day, Mountain Motorsports, the dealership that I do all my first rides at, and in the parking lot happened to be a brand new ZX10, and I was like, we did a ZX10 for Wreck Bike Rebuild Season 2, so I'm relatively familiar with that older style ZX10. I thought that bike turned out phenomenal. It's the one that was like Nardo gray and highlighter yellow.
Yep.
It stood out a lot. So, and we redid that entire motorcycle. Had to get a new frame for it. So, highly recommend Season 2 of Wreck Bike Rebuild if you guys want to watch the shit show that is. So when I saw this in person, here's one of the interesting things. I don't know how many times this has happened to me, but I think it's more rare than the opposite. I saw it in video or photos, and I was like, that's a cool looking motorcycle. In person, I was like, what is that?
Interesting.
I even posted the photo online, and Instagram reacted so much that I think I told you, it's like, so typically a photo on Instagram for me gets like 1,500 likes or something like that, depending on what it is. That's not a lot, trust me. But that photo, which was shitty, dude, the sun was glaring off the phone. You could barely even tell what it was. The photo got like 3,200 likes. So I saw that, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. People must be super interested with this ZX10. And the one I saw, you guys can go the C2 Pigs Instagram if you want to see the photo. I don't recommend it. It looks terrible. But I was looking at that bike, like, I mean, I get the Kawasaki-ness of it, but I don't feel like it looks like a Kawasaki.
I could not disagree more.
I can't wait to talk about looks then. Okay, so before we get to that,
let's point. We can talk about those things, but let's point the conversation, because we could talk about the new ZX10.
Right. So we got
specifically.
I saw all the interest that got me looking into the ZX10, because
and that's when it happened.
That's when it went down. It's kind of the same thing as the Suzuki GSX S1000. Yeah. I saw a post about it, and I'm like, oh, interesting. Let me look into this, and that's when I got mad. Anyway, so I'm looking into the ZX10, and personally, back in the day before this body style, ZX10 was my number 2 favorite super sport. R1 was probably my top 1, because I'm a pretty big Yamaha fan as far as the super sports go. And then this thing came out, and I don't really have a problem with the base model. The price point is coming in at like $16,399 for the non-ABS, which we could do a whole show on it. But why can you get a 1000 with no ABS?
There are certain things that I think should become standard.
I'm fine with I'm fine with, if you have a 1000, I'm fine with it being able to have ABS turned off, but I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole. Anyway, so for the non-ABS, $16,399, pretty standard.
Is that comparable to other 1000s?
It is. Okay. It's right there in the line. Okay. So I don't even mind I don't
often window shop for leader bikes, so I'm not really up to date on it.
My guy, me either. I only know this because of all the research I was doing. But they're all within a couple grand of each other.
Okay.
Which, when you're spending $20,000, I don't think you're going to make a huge buying decision off of $1,000 difference. So they have the KRT version, right? So we're going from $16,699 $16,399. It's only a
So
$300.
So go back to the.
So this is the base.
Yep.
$300 more. You get the the super fun Kyle edition or whatever the kids call it these days. Here's my problem, Bo. If you want to get anything bigger than the ZX10R, boom, $28,999.
What does the ZX14 go for?
Good question. Let's reference. By the way, for you guys curious, that is a $12,600 price jump.
Yeah, that's a whole nother fucking motorcycle.
To go, guys, from the KRT. Oh, wait, I think I did it from the base model. From the base model to the ZX10RR. Yeah, $12,600. Okay. Cool. Just as curiosity.
I'm doing.
Bro, the ZX14R goes for $15,399.
Bye, bitch.
Actually, bro, the Ninja H2 SX.
Okay.
25,500.
All right, so
bro, hold on. An H2
clearly
base
there's
model
something
H2
wrong.
is 29,500.
Is the RR a limited edition?
No.
It's limited. No, it's not limited.
No, it has no numbers.
What the
Okay,
what the
now
fuck?
hold on.
Wait, what?
Okay,
the fuck?
I would understand. So hold on, before we get to Chase's frustration, because Honda and Yamaha both have a race level spec
Right.
hypersport or super sport. So let's go over to those, right? If you guys not familiar, Honda has their CBR 1000 RR RSP, and Yamaha has their herbs. And then the Yamaha has the R1M, right? These are something consistent of all these motorcycles that I've noticed. They all have titanium internals.
Okay.
So if you guys
They're
that don't
lighter.
know from what I've talked with Brian, titanium's lighter.
They don't spin
which
faster.
all it means is the engine can rotate faster. You can get higher RPMs, more power.
More rip'ems, more go.
More rip'ems, more zooms. So, so we can get a reference. So the ZX10RR is what was that? $28,999. So $29,000, right? Minus $1. Okay, so let's go to the other race spec super sports. R1M, $26,099. $26,000. $4,000 lower. Okay, we're not going to go into what each of these get in them. I just want to establish a price.
What about the Honda?
Honda, $28,500. So if we notice, the ZX10RR is the most expensive. We're calling it race spec super sport.
So the R1M, I don't know much about, but we did the RSP.
Yes, we did the first round of the RSP.
That thing is. The RSP is a significantly different motorcycle than the RR.
So, yeah.
I mean, like, significantly.
This is what we were talking about earlier. I was talking with Brian about this because I'm not the demographic to buy this motorcycle.
Right.
I don't have that kind of cash, and I don't do those kind of track days. But most of them, the ZX10 base, you can see how it gets to the ZX10R because it just adds a few things. The R1M, you can see how they take an R1 and they get it to an R1M. The SP from Honda is a totally different machine.
Yeah,
so
doesn't it use a different engine?
Yeah, the SP is not as good of a one-for-one. The
Right.
R1M is a much better one-for-one, but I would feel remiss if I didn't add the SP to this list. And Honda positions that bike as that. It's just the only company that like totally transforms it. So let's talk about the R1M first because it's the lowest price point race spec.
Right.
So I've got this broken down into different ways. The R1M gets a $8,700 price jump from the base R1. You get for that $8,700 electronic Olin suspension up front. You get an upgraded rear shock. It's not electronic suspension. This is the R1M.
Okay.
You get a larger rear tire. It's interestingly 2 pounds heavier at 450 pounds. The seat height is marginally changed by 0.2. It's a 0.2 higher. GPS data logging. Okay. So it's very track focused. Yeah, nobody's going to care about data logging that's not going around a track. And then, like I said, titanium internals. The R1M has this cool kind of aluminum gas tank looking thing. It's got a really cool look. Okay. So that's what our additional $8,700 is getting us over on Yamaha's side. Now, let's go to, like I said, the second most expensive track spec super sport from the big four. By the way, we're not going into the Aprilias of the Ducatis. Pricing is going to get thrown out the window if we do that. So we're trying to keep
it in the Japanese.
Yeah, we need to keep it in the Japanese because the pricing gap will just totally ruin all the numbers for us. So we're going to keep it in the Japanese. So over on Honda, CBR 1000 RRSP. So now we have a $12,000 price jump. Very significant amount of money.
Right.
But again, totally different motorcycle. Yeah. So it's got selectable torque control. It's got a quick shifter, throttle by wire, titanium connecting rods like everything else. Okay. Öhlins electronic suspension. It's got a longer swing arm. It's got larger throttle bodies.
Substantial amount of things on that then.
Even if you are looking at one bike to the other, bro, they don't even you could literally say, "Oh, you could make up a name and it could be sitting right next to another CBR." If we're going to be really honest, it doesn't look like a CBR.
That's fair.
I'm borderline. Don't even think it should be called a CBR, but it is what it is. So
basically, what you're saying is those two bikes offer a fairly significant.
I mean, one's a whole different bike, and then one is stuff that's like, who needs more engine than an R1? Right. So there's really nothing engine-wise other than the titanium internals to rev a little higher.
So from the 10R to the 10RR, what are we getting?
So let's break it down like we broke everything else down. Price jump. Yeah. Hold on. $12,600. It is $600 more price jump than the CBR 1000RR to the SP. Okay, I wouldn't be upset about the number. It's about the additions that you get. So, you guys just heard our extensive list of the R1M and the SP. So, we would expect, logically, that the ZX10RR would have a lot of cool stuff. Oh, this is my favorite. This, being totally honest, it shouldn't matter, but this pisses me off the most. Okay. Listen to the way they describe limited production track-focused single-seat model.
What the fuck does that mean?
Bo, that means that they replace the rear seat with a cowl.
Oh, I thought that was just something that you can buy.
It is.
Wait. It's not actually.
This is when you have a job like a garbage truck job, and you're a sanitation engineer.
This is literally the same. Go! Oh my fucking god! Go to the thing right there. Yeah.
Guys, look at Go to my screen. Go to my screen.
I'm 100% on your screen.
This is
That's not a.
Bro, it's a limited production track focused single seat model. They literally put a seat cowl on it.
Okay, click on the 10R, and you can see,
it's the same thing with a fairing.
For fuck's sake, okay. What else do you get with this?
Oh, as if that wasn't enough.
No. That's at least a third of it, right?
No, so that can easily account for $15,000.
Okay.
So,
oh my God.
Lightweight pistons and high-performance titanium connecting rods. This is something I totally agree with. This is industry standard.
Does it have passenger pegs?
We're not there.
Wait. Does it have passenger pegs?
Hold on. No, that's just connect the exhaust.
That's just the hanger. Okay.
Okay, so
all right.
Here we go. We have titanium internals. This very normal, right? Everybody in this class has titanium internals. We're okay with this. We like this. Intake and exhaust valve springs. Cool, great, love seeing that. Pirelli Diablo Super Corsa SP tires. Ooh, so maybe a race-focused tire? I wonder how much Pirelli, a set of those cost. Hey, Bo, guess how much a set, a front and rear?
I can't guess because I'm looking at it on the notes.
$500. Cool. That's expensive.
I mean, yeah.
So let's deduct 500 from the freaking 12,600.
So far, we've got a seat cowl.
Yep.
All right.
Titanium internals.
That's an improvement.
The titanium is definitely solid.
So that's
I'm
a
here
solid
for that.
new intake and exhaust valve springs. Okay.
Okay, so we got the Super Corsa tires. Cool. But you know what? You could get Super Corsa tires. Now, exclusive Marchesini forged wheels. You know what? I even get the wheel thing. Actually,
that's
if
probably the most expensive
if there's
part of it.
anything part of this, it's the wheels, because we put very expensive wheels on our Panigale Season 4 bike. I get how expensive wheels can be. Those wheels that we got, they were carbon fiber and cost like $3,000, I think. They were not cheap. So I get the wheels. Oh, and what about the bottom? The final thing you get, a fine-tuned suspension settings.
Wait,
Now,
what? Hold on.
No. Yeah. You heard exactly what I said. Fine-tuned suspension settings. Remember, Bo, to the ZX10's credit, it comes with a great suspension setup. It's got the Showa, like, big piston things by the front wheel.
Are you saying settings?
Settings. It is the exact same suspension. From what they say, they've changed settings. So, here's what I asked Brian.
Why can't I fucking do
Here's
that?
what I asked Brian. I said, so, if I go out and I buy a ZX10R and my buddy John gets a ZX10RR, can I copy his homework settings on his suspension over to mine, and then that saves me the fine-tuned suspension settings?
Fine-tuned suspension settings.
Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen.
Why is that so vague?
We need to be clear. I'm an idiot.
Okay.
So I could be totally wrong, but if I'm not, and you are telling me you want people to pay that much money for you to set the settings and to put a seat cowl on?
Bro, I'm going to tell you, pound sand.
Bro, you are not...
I tell you this, people that are buying this are not the kind of people who give a shit about what it does. 100%.
If you were about to spend $30,000...
Ain't nobody that's
you can buy a car.
Ain't nobody that's spending $30,000 on a motorcycle that just has that name. This is rich people flex. That's all this bike is here for. Like, this doesn't give you anything. Like, okay, if I'm a racer and I'm racing a ZX10, maybe we'll get the 10R so that we don't have to do the internals. And then we're gonna, our team is gonna like pump all this money, and you're probably not paying full price for the bike anyways.
Right.
So that's the one person. If a person goes to their site and buys that bike, they're not doing it because they give a shit about what it's capable of. They do it because I just bought a $30,000 motorcycle.
Well, here's
and then they're gonna ride it, up and down.
So
20
here's
and
the thing
75.
that gets me so frustrated with this fine-tuned suspension settings. When I had a R6, I was super into like riding really hard. I had a buddy, and he was like, hey, whenever you get new tires on, because he like hooked me up with tires and stuff, he said, next time you get a new set of tires, bring your bike in. I'll set your suspension for you. Because, Bo, guess what?
What?
Fine-tuned suspension settings is based on the rider.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's not based on the freaking motorcycle.
That's what I was saying. It was vague. Also, Downship's in here.
Downey's in here? What's up, Downey?
Yeah, because that's what I was saying. It's vague. But
So what,
again, I don't think the people that are buying this, like I said, are people that give a shit about all the like. It's a flex. It's the same people that it's a $100,000 Panigale. Like, that's what it is. It is something that people, because anybody who is buying a motorcycle to actually ride it, like they're gonna look at the 10R and be like, oh yeah, that's perfect. That's perfectly more than adequate.
Bro,
because I'm looking at the list. I'm looking at the list of features for the new 2021 model. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah, so let's go over the list of the.
Yeah, we'll do it real quick.
I don't want to totally spend an hour shitting on the ZX10RR because I don't want that to overshadow the fact that the ZX10 is a good motorcycle. No. So the feature list for the ZX10R, It's got an updated
We
4-cylinder
can talk
engine.
about racers and all that, guys, but like that's
How many people are racers?
that's
though?
what I'm saying. Like the marketing for this is not. it does not look like they're marketing to racers. It looks like they're marketing to people who have a shit ton of money.
All right, so we got Showa balance-free suspension components, IMU, internal measuring unit, so you can do traction control, ABS, whatever.
Yeah.
Finger follow valve actuation, not sure what that is. High-spec Brembo brakes, love seeing that. Quick shifter, great. Kawasaki traction control system, launch control, which that's terrifying. Kawasaki cornering management function, which is cornering ABS, I would imagine.
Especially with the
Olin's
IMU.
electronic steering damper. So,
And
Kawasaki,
engine
engine brake control.
So like
The base model comes with a ton of stuff.
look, I look at this and I think like, okay, so then something also occurred to me, and then there are different techs for different leagues of racing, right?
Right.
Some of them won't let there's when we were at the track for the King of the Baggers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the guys was talking about, because I was curious about like what each division of racing has and what the rules for each one of them are, and it's like, well, some of them they will have to be in the same ballpark as far as like internals. You can't touch the internals.
Okay.
So like,
So you have to start with the same engine.
I mean, pretty much. Essentially, it's like, oh, he's a Ninja, 650.
Right.
Okay, all right, R6, all right, and blah 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 blah. So like, even like, that narrows it down to a smaller amount of people who would buy this as a race bike.
Right.
Because even among racers, which it's going to be a small amount of people buying this motorcycle compared to what they hope to push as far as units is concerned. Like, they want to put this on the street.
Right.
The reason that the whole marketing, Brian talks about this a lot, is like bikes that win races on Saturday sell on Monday. Like, that's the idea. It's the mentality.
Yeah, I really disagree with that.
It's 100% the mentality of the marketing team to try to, like, that's why they, the way that the company. I don't agree with it. I'm not buying a bike because it's winning.
Do you know who is currently winning World Superbike?
Don't fucking care either.
Do you know who's riding what?
No, I was paying attention to King of the Baggers.
Actually, so that's kind of unfair because you're not a super sport guy. But if you ask me the same questions, I don't know.
You're not going to know either.
Honestly, I don't care. I have respect for what they do. Don't get me wrong with that.
Yeah.
But I'm
also not buying a motorcycle based on, like, I'm not buying a Challenger just because it won King of the Baggers.
That makes no sense to me. So, like, why am I going to buy a motorcycle that this dude who has dedicated his whole life to do this one thing?
Raymond says, motorcycles are closed on Mondays.
Right. Like, dude, it makes no sense. I could not disagree. We could do a whole show on the whole, like, whatever wins on Sunday is bought on
I think
Tuesday.
people that are serious about riding are buying the 10R.
Well, so we were having this conversation.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yes. But like, we were having this conversation of, okay, if you are going to buy, if you have that much skill, which, let's be honest, less than 1% of people riding a 1000 do. If you have that much skill, would you, like, I'm pretty sure if we as a shop bought a base model ZX10R for $12,600, bro, I'm pretty sure we could make that faster than a ZX10R.
That's an expensive low side.
Can you imagine?
Yeah,
my God.
I just can't get behind the idea that price is worth what they're offering with it. Again, the forged wheels I get. The
titanium internals, I'm solid on that. Yeah.
The rest of it is, like somebody said in chat, it's like $4,000 worth of upgrades for $12,000. And it's not limited.
They probably could have squeaked by if they only made a certain amount of these.
Yeah.
And it would literally be a freaking plastic number.
Yeah.
Or, let's go crazy.
Stamp
it could
it on
be
the
a
triple?
metal stamp
on the
bike.
Yeah.
Boom. It's a numbered motorcycle. You know what? Maybe
Downey's
then.
chomping at the bit to get in on this one.
Oh my God, Downey, we're gonna have you on the show at some
Yes,
point.
sir.
Don't worry, bud.
So, like, when you think about other bikes that have done this kind of thing, and
here's an example, dude. Ducati
yes,
Ducati puts
yes.
numbers on stuff,
Yeah.
and guess what happens?
Yeah.
You can charge whatever you want.
that's that
'Cause there is
exclusivity
one
that tax.
of blank.
Yeah, it's the exclusivity track. Harley has done this quite often. So every once in a while, Harley will release like this hand-painted custom, like a certain amount of them. My stepfather had one. It was a Fat Boy, and like it's a whole thing. You pay the exclusivity thing, but you get a giant, and I mean like a 3 foot by like 2 foot
Really?
piece of aluminum with the paint scheme on it, numbered and signed by the artist, and like all this other stuff.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. If there was a bike that I was like really attached to, I would legitimately consider that.
So I think that's where they missed the mark, because like, there's nothing incredible about hopping onto the RR. There's like
well, hey, if you get a Superleggera V4, it costs $112,000, but hey, you get a custom painted crate.
it's $100,000, and that crate you tear it up to open it.
Well, I don't know. Mountain's got one piece of that
They
crate
do
sitting
have
on the
that.
wall.
Yeah, they do have that. I don't think this is worth it. Like that's just
Well, so here's the thing we were talking about earlier, where like this is for racing people. Since when is it okay to gouge people that race?
I mean,
Is that a normal thing?
again,
I'm an idiot.
okay,
but
so like the top tier racers, the factory racers, it's nothing. But like there are guys that aren't factory racers that are having to pay. Some of them will have good deals. So some people are paying full price, and some people are bringing their own personal bike. Like that's I mean, like you go down the list, like from the top of the top.
yeah,
It's like your factory racers, and they don't spend
right.
a cent on that thing.
Yeah, okay, so I
Right,
get
and then
that,
it just
yeah.
goes down the list, and people can get like, oh, I got a good deal because I'm sponsored by so and so, and so that
like
helps.
a dealership or something
Right,
like
and
that.
then they go
Okay.
down to like, oh, I'm paying full price for the bike,
I'm
and then
curious.
it's like, oh, I've had this bike for 3 years.
I'm
I go to work on this thing.
I'm the mechanic that does all the work on it, right? I wonder. So, like, I bet racing. I bet the way it looks, if you made a bracket system, I
Yeah,
bet there's giant racers,
Yeah.
and then there's nobody racers, and I bet there's very few people in between.
No, there's a lot of people in between. And in fact, I'd say there's more people in between. So, like,
You think so?
At the King of the Baggers, right?
Mm-hmm.
The top 2 racers there,
Right.
Tyler O'Hare, and I forget the other guy's name. It escapes me right now. But the 2 factory riders, Harley and Indian, only factory riders there. Then
So those are the big guys
Then
that
there
you're-
was one guy who was riding a Street Glide that still had the gauges in the cluster. That was his personal bike. I'm not convinced he didn't just accidentally drive onto the track. Everybody else is in between. So that whole field, it was everybody else in between.
Interesting. Okay.
That happens a lot because, like, usually the top dogs are the factory riders, and they're
Yeah.
very few. And then you have like a couple of the guys are like down in the bottom.
I did want to be clear. I am an idiot and know nothing of what I'm talking about.
I only know what I know about this because me and Brian had a long talk about it while we were at King of the Baggers.
Right.
And so I was like, because I was asking questions, I was so fascinated.
Yeah.
I've gone to races,
Right.
but I've never really like learned about them.
Like the behind the scenes.
And getting
yeah.
excited about King of the Baggers made me go like, me and Marley, my wife we were just like asking questions left and right.
Right. So if you guys don't know, King of the Baggers is basically a bunch of dudes get
It's
cruisers.
Motor America on fucking baggers.
Yeah, they do it on cruisers. It's I've seen photos and it's
So
absolutely
good.
insane. So I want to jump back to the Kawasaki Sport lineup, and we can talk about we can battle it out about this appearance stuff.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, the one thing that I'm kind of stuck on too with this price thing.
Yeah.
If you're in Yamaha's side or Honda side, whatever, your race line, your race replica line that we're calling it,
Yeah.
that is the fastest thing they make, right? So
Well, I don't think the speed
no,
is about,
I mean,
you know?
I mean relatively for that, like it's the thing you're gonna take. It's the
I would
best
say
thing
that
for
it's-
the track,
I would say its performance is higher than others, no matter where it is in the line.
right? So you'll understand what I'm saying in a second. So the R1M is the baddest mother effer you can get at Yamaha, right?
Yeah.
So it would make sense that it has no cap. right? The CBR SP. It is the baddest mother you can get, no cap. Here's the thing, though. Kawasaki got the H2.
Are you saying no cap as in the new
Oh my
cool
God,
thing to say,
no.
or are you saying no cap as in there's no ceiling? Are you trying to be like TikTok cool, or are you saying there's literally no cap?
You can ask my wife. I have no idea what no cap means.
I don't know either. And so when you were saying it, I was like, does he know?
Do
I need
know,
to ask him right now?
I know that no cap is a thing. I forget what
Okay.
it means.
I was having
No.
a moment where I was like, I get to finally find out what the fuck this means.
The funny thing is, Heather and I last night watched a video on what is what, and I had forgotten already.
Because you just said it in a way, in context, that sounded correct. All right, so there's no cap. All right.
No, okay. So there's no ceiling to what those companies could charge for that motorcycle. But Kawasaki has an H2 line.
That's not fair, though, because that is not, the H2 is not race. It's,
Okay,
yeah,
so
you know what I mean?
here's what I mean. The R1M, regardless of its price, is
Fucking
not going to cannibalize
chat
anything.
coming in with it. Kay Johnson and Downey both said no cap equals no lying, no lies.
There you go.
No
Thank
bullshit.
you. Thank you guys in the chat. We now know that no cap
Fucking
in
old.
kid translation means no. Okay. No cap.
Yeah.
ZX10RR, stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
Like no cap.
I don't. So my question for you then, having ridden the SP, is that worth the money that it cost more than the RR?
Okay, so you have to ask me in a scenario where I have the money and I do the track days, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise,
Yeah.
I'm not
Track
spending that.
days specific. Yeah.
So if I was a guy with 30 grand and I was like, man, I want a bike and I have the disposable income,
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the track. It is a no-brainer. I don't even have to kind of think about it. That SP would, me versus me on the track, destroy.
That thing is gnarly.
Even so, I haven't ridden. I've ridden an R1M, an older one,
Yeah.
but it's been a hot minute since I've ridden a regular R1. So I would be very curious to know R1 versus R1M.
Right.
Granted, I know for a
Sounds
fact
like
it's.
somebody needs to do first ride.
It sounds like we're gonna have to contact somebody.
Yeah, H2 is a drag bike, so we can't like it's meant to just go.
Well, my point though
Yeah.
is even in Kawasaki's image, when
Yeah.
you go into the Ninja line, if you go too expensive with this one, you start getting cannibalistic with these. Our Yamahas don't have that. Hondas don't have that. Kawasaki has that, and it's almost like they're pricing their people out. A ZX10RR costs more, or what is it? An H2 costs $29,500.
Yeah.
How much does the big thing cost?
But again, we're doing this thing where we're just going by cost. That H2 is a different thing than the ZX10. People that ride the ZX10s are the ones out there that are carving. The H2s are meant for people who are going butt fucking wild on the interstate in straight lines.
In that case, why don't you get a ZX14? 15
That is
grand.
that is for people who want to go butt fucking nuts in a straight line while carrying their lunch.
What about the H2SX? What about that?
That is for people who want to go butt fucking nuts and go on a small picnic.
Okay, what about the H2R? What is that? What is that? 55,000.
Yeah, that's the one that's like the supreme beast, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah, the H2 is for clout. Like that's all it is. It's a fucking click magnet on YouTube.
But dude,
Yeah.
if you
So like the people that buy that bike, that H2, aren't the ones that are going to be riding the living shit out of it. Like when I say riding the living shit out of it, I don't mean like, oh, they're going on the interstate and they're doing all this crazy stuff. No, I mean like the people that you see up at Blood Mountain who were just destroying the mountain. Like
Bro.
with the utmost of like those kind of bikes. To me, when I see people riding those things, I almost never see if they're up in the mountains.
when you say those things, what do you mean?
I mean like
H2s?
the ZX10R,
Okay.
the Superbikes, right?
Right.
I rarely, in our circle of people that we've ridden, I
Right.
rarely see a person on that much motorcycle up in the mountains that isn't a laser. up there, or at least close to it. You see a lot of butt fuckery on H2s.
You're talking online specifically.
Yeah. And then, that's a lot of bike. The ZX10R is a lot of bike. ZX10
it's a big bike.
Is a big bike, and most of the people that I see riding them are riding them like we think of, like the general population thinks of when you think of sport bikes, which is like cutting in and out, laying it down, like
honestly, dude, the times I've gone up into the mountains, the people that I see destroying the most are
the small CC.
Never on a 1,000.
It's the supermoto guys. Those guys,
bro,
slay.
It's supermotos and it's 600s.
That's true.
Like if you're doing,
anytime I've been up there with you guys, though, the people that I see the most up there that are really like I said, laser attacks. It's always been like R1s.
I wanted you to say like 300s.
So no, bad. The supermoto guys, the full sleigh status.
Yeah.
Every time I've gone up there, but like the big leader bikes, the big honking, super powerful ones, the ones that when I see them, I go, "There's no fucking way I'm going to be on that bike."
Right.
And they see those guys, and they're taking it seriously, and they're using that bike for what it's intended for.
Right.
I've never, not once, seen an H2 in the mountains.
God,
have you ever seen an H2 in the mountains?
I don't think so, honestly.
I did a lot of search. I did a lot of search for.
Because that's one thing we didn't talk about at the beginning of the show. Our
the new
motovlog
that we just put together.
So you were doing a lot of internet searching based on the topics I was talking about.
Anytime I had to search H2, unfortunately, on YouTube, and 9.9 times out of 10, it's a guy on the interstate slicing traffic at 150 miles an hour.
Here's something super interesting that I in that video when you edited
it. It's rare, but they are out there. Yeah, I would say.
We're not saying they're not out there. We all know that they're gonna.
It's a sweeping generalization.
Yeah,
because there's going to be a person that
there's always going to be that one guy or something.
So there's a guy up at Tail of Dragon who slays on a Goldwing. He used to be a professional racer,
right?
And he outrides literally everyone on that mountain.
Yeah, so
on
always
a Goldwing.
Right,
so
there's always
going
to be the one guy. But here's the super interesting thing about the video that we edited, or you edited and we put out today. Did you notice that if you guys haven't seen it, I basically keep going. Drink all of your freaking milkshake.
I'm eating it.
Jesus Christ!
It's not a milkshake. It's coffee.
Everybody, please give Bo crap in the chat. He got funnel cake pieces in a coffee. I just want you all to just destroy him in the chat.
It also had cinnamon and caramel syrup.
Jesus Christ.
And chocolate sprinkles.
Oh my God. What is wrong with your child?
And whipped cream.
Anyway, okay, so when I was watching through that video, because when you get done with an edit, I watch through it to make sure it looks good. When you took the audio, out of clips of people doing highway runs, did you notice
it takes it
how
it looks so boring,
dead it looks?
It looks boring as fuck.
I've never done that before though, so when I saw that in that video, I was like, interesting.
Yeah,
once
you drop that sound and all the excitement's not there from the sound of the motor, you realize like, you're just like
you're literally. Yeah.
Now I get it. Being on a bike, so my uncle. This is when I still had the FZ6. We were on the interstate. My uncle was riding S1000RR. He's like, "Hey, you want to trade these?" And I was like, "Hey, sure, I'll try it out." I've been riding for like 6-7 months at that point, so I was like, "Yeah, I feel confident."
Right.
So we pulled off on the exit, got on, and I had it in like the lowest mode, and I was just trying to get used to it. And I was like, "Oh, this is really tame." Blah blah blah. And he's like, "All right, hit this button. All right, hit that button. Now you're in like holy shit mode."
Yeah, hold on mode.
And he's just like, "Give it a twist." And like I was just going straight. It was South Georgia. There was interstate straight, nothing, nowhere near us. And I was just like, okay, it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's fun. But that's it. Then it's over. The more you do that,
you are diminishing the amount of fun you're getting out of it.
And then once I took the sound out, I was just like.
Well, here's the thing. For you guys, I'm sure most of you guys ride, but if you don't, the faster you go, just the way a motorcycle is made, it is the most stable you're ever going to get, especially now with all these like winglets and stuff that bikes are starting to have. That's another thing I'll bring up about the bike, about the change. But they're dumb stable. So the faster you're going, the more stable you are. So it's like you're safer going straight in a straight line. So cool thing that I saw, shout out to Zach Kortz on his review of the ZX10 over on Revzilla. One of the changes of the front face that I'm not a huge fan of, it has built-in winglets. It's because all the Superbikes are doing winglets these days. If we look at this photo, I've got a cool photo that I found online somewhere.
Okay.
Here's a front half side by side. I kind of wish they would have done this cut in the middle and shown this half ZX10, old one, and new one.
So I see an air dam on the side.
So this is the new winglet type situation. So
there's that thing, and then they also have an air deflector on the near the bottom of the shield, like
like right here. Or what are you talking about?
So you see where the shield ends into the bodywork.
Yeah.
Follow that line right there.
Thing?
Yeah, that's a little lip that's been improved. The lip, there's everything is pushing air aside. So even next to that winglet, I don't know, man. I really like the look of it.
Right. So
it's just the price that
got 5 minutes.
It's the price that kills it, dude.
So I want to bring up all of the photos here because here's one thing I would love to see, and I didn't even really think about it until I started looking at this view. Do you have my screen pulled up?
Yes.
Thank you. So I love that. For one, let me give Kawasaki credit. The way they break their bikes up, I love how organized it is.
They also don't have like 17 million versions of the Ninja 650.
Don't worry, Suzuki. We're not going to get into it.
Okay, that one's not true because they use that platform for a couple of their other bikes. That's not a fair comparison. You know what I mean? Like in their lineup, the Sport is the Sport.
Right. Well, here's the thing. So we've got a couple different looks. I would argue that the ZX10 here has a look. I would argue that the H2 line has a very cohesive look. Yeah. I would argue that the ZX14 has a look. And then I would argue that there's a look over here, the ZX6R, the Ninja 400, the Ninja 650. I guess the Ninja 1000 has a different look as well. Yeah. I wish all of these sport lines had one look. Yeah. I wish all of the super sports had one look. If you want to go with the new ZX10 look, do it to it. But do it to all three. And then I think the H2 line's already got a really cohesive look. I'll be clear. I don't hate the ZX10. I just don't think it looks as good as the CBR anymore, honestly.
I actually prefer the look of this over Honda's. It's just because, and you showed it, that little winglet, the Ninja. You look at the 650, right? Right. And you look at that profile, and how everything kind of like jumps in and out of the silhouette. Like that's a very Kawasaki thing. You look at like the old Ninja 300. Right, it had that same kind of jutting out, like little pokey bits coming out.
Right,
it's very like almost like cyberpunkish. Like the lines aren't like this nice smooth, silky silhouette. Even the 1000 has like it's a solid line in that front. To me, Kawasaki has always been about like that 650 and the 400, previously 300, that kind of silhouette in the front end.
I think
zoom in on the 10.
They do good lines as well.
Zoom in on the 10.
That's as far as I
can go. Still has that. It's
very angular.
Yeah, it's a very different version. I love that body line. I think the bike itself looks phenomenal. Yeah. The whole thing, like the way everything kind of melds. And, of course, they got rid of – it's still a baby muffler, but it's a muffler nonetheless.
Yeah, dude, we all probably are aware at this point, Kawasaki puts the biggest freaking exhausts on their bikes.
Yeah, so
bro, look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this.
That's a muffler.
That's a muffler.
It's an actual muffler, the fucking heifer on the back of that Ninja H2.
So here's what I kind of get confused about. I really don't like that. Like, I want cohesiveness in lines. I want this line, this line, and this line. I don't like that this, and this look the same.
Well, so no, the Ninja 400 is more in line with the ZX6R, and the 650 is the outlier here. If you look at it, look at the way the tail is in line. The tail kind of swoops down. It's fatter.
You have a good point. Honestly, you know what would fix, and I know cohesiveness.
So, like,
works.
if you look at the 650 and the 10, that back end from right there have that same kind of line where it follows it almost cafe racer style from the tank angle. Yeah.
I honestly think this is cohesive and looks clean. I get that.
Yeah.
But honestly, if you look at the Ninja 400 and this should honestly be called the Ninja ZX-10R, and it should be over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you can, because as far as riding wise, I think of the Ninja 400 more in this line.
Yeah, baby super.
Yeah, and which is fine. Yamaha does that. Yamaha calls the R3 in the same line as the R6, 7, and 1. So, we're not going to get
when
into.
are manufacturers just going to start, like, there's got to be some cohesion between, like, these, their models and stuff. Like, the problem with releasing bikes in the way that they have to release them, like, there's a schedule they release.
They can't
like,
just redo every motorcycle.
Right, they can just be
get-go.
like, hey, hold on one second, we're going to be right back.
Just-
and then they just, hey, we did all of our bikes at one time.
Yeah,
Sorry we didn't
surprise!
sell you any bikes for a year and a half, but
Right,
here they all
exactly.
are. I get that, but it's like everybody catches up, so they update a model.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, so is this the model? Is this the pin at the end of the,
Right.
and like all those models match that, or do we just have our lines? So it's interesting. I'm not sure.
Kawasaki's got a long way.
I don't like it.
If they want to sync up all of their stuff, they've got a long way to go.
Yeah. Hey, do we want to give away?
Oh God, it's 6:00.
Yeah.
This happens every time,
Yeah.
guys. We are in talks to extend the show a little
Yeah.
bit.
We're trying to figure it out.
It would have to start earlier, but we're thinking about it. So guys, Bo, go check Discord for us. And see if
Yeah,
there's
I'm
anything.
checking.
I'm just gonna be clicking around and looking at these Kawasaki's because my goodness.
Yeah, the problem with, I think for me at least, if I have to put a button at the end of this episode for me, is that I don't get the exclusivity of a non-exclusive $12,000 upgrade for a machine that is not really upgraded.
I want people to.
But I
leave-
do like the ZX10R.
I was gonna say
yeah.
I want people to leave this episode thinking, okay, cool. Kawasaki's got a really nice ZX10R. They are joking themselves if they think people are gonna get the ZX10RR. Like any reasonable person, I would be shocked to see one of those in person and somebody have a conversation with me of like, oh yeah, I chose this because the garbage truck came by and he was like, hey man, I got a lot of free stuff I can put on that thing. It's only gonna cost you $12,000.
Bro, and somebody like this. You liked this photo in Moto Photo.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have anything. We have to start using as like a community. Start using the Live on Two Wheels channel in the Discord. So I'm just pulling a random thing from Moto Photo.
Oh wait, I can show it on my screen. I can show all Discord stuff.
Yeah, Moto Photo Peanut EOD.
Moto Photo.
Here, let me copy this message link and I'll just send you a direct link to it.
Okay.
He posted it. You liked it, so, and it looks freaking sick. If you click on that link that's in your messages now.
Boom. Oh, this thing, yes.
Yeah, dude.
You guys check this. It's got to be like some race R6 that this guy had painted.
It looks so good, dude.
Yeah, this was cool. This was really fun to see in our Moto Photo thing. We have a section on Discord, guys, where it's literally people can just post photos of bikes that they find.
Yeah.
This thing, I came across this and I was like, oh my goodness, check that thing out.
Let's. I'm gonna say that's the winner because that thing looks mean as shit.
It really does.
Yeah.
It makes me miss the
I
R6.
love that. Aw.
R6s are good stuff, man. Yeah, so we'll get in contact with him.
So yeah, I'll send him a message and whatnot. If you guys want to participate in this kind of thing, just join the Discord. The links are in the description, right?
We will make sure that there's a link in the description.
Link in the description, and we have a channel specifically devoted to Live on Two Wheels, so you can go down there and like post questions, memes,
all types
screenshots
of stuff,
of Chase's face in a weird way.
We have that page entirely for you guys, so treat it how you will. That's our place to have conversations with you guys throughout the week, and then obviously we go live on every Thursday night, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that way we can all jump over here in the chat, have our conversation, do what we got to do, and then the rest of the week we can kind of hang out over on Discord. We would love to have more of you guys over there. I will make sure before I leave the shop tonight that this episode, when it goes up on YouTube, has a link to the Discord, so you guys can go check that out. Again, it costs nothing, and we'd love to hang out with you guys throughout the week. Also, it's 4 minutes past, so we are going to head out of here. You guys, this show is live, obviously.
Yes, Daniel. We are late. Thank you.
We are, thank you. He's just giving us a time update.
Yes.
-5, -10. So guys, this is a weekly thing. We do this every week. We'd love to have more of you guys. We had a ton of you guys in here tonight, so clearly the ZX10 has a lot of interest.
Yeah.
Hopefully the ZX10R has more interest. Thank you, Bo. Thank you so much.
Theodore, Discord links as always will be in the description. We'll put them there.
They might not be in there right now, but I'll add them
Yeah.
when it goes up on YouTube.
No, you do have the Discord link in the description.
Oh, I do. Good for me.
Yeah.
That's a
Yep,
surprise.
you can click on that and join up.
All right, guys. We're out of here. We hope you guys have a phenomenal Friday. Wait, is Luke in here?
It is. Yeah, he
Bro,
is. Big
what?
ol' heart, bud.
Hey.
Oh,
What's up, buddy?
He couldn't stay away from us.
Oh, it was like the other day. He had to just stop in and say, hey. It's like, hey, guys, some garbage truck here. Just want to say hi. All right, guys, we're out of here. Thank you guys for hanging out with us if you're here live. Thank you for watching the show. Make sure to hit that like button if you're here on YouTube. And if you're listening to us in a podcast platform and it's on Apple, please do reviews. Those are so freaking helpful. As you guys know, we're working on getting, we want to be #2 motorcycle podcast.
Yeah.
We're working there. We're only on episode 17, but we're getting there.
Would it help if we had the #1 podcast on here?
Maybe. I'll have to talk with us guys and see if we can get some of them on there. Hey, soundboard. Oh, wait, can people post audio things? It would be funny to post soundboard options.
I mean, that could get real squirrely, but yeah.
I take that back. That's a statement I wish I didn't make. All right. Love you guys a long time. Thanks for hanging out. We will see you guys next week for another episode of Live on Two Wheels and first ride of MT-07 coming at your faces tomorrow. You guys make sure to go check out our, what do we call them? Topical Moto Vlogs.
Yes.
They're back, baby. We'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
What about the fart?